everybody, I'm Tom Vasel.
I'm Zee Garcia. What's happening, folks?
Sam Healey.
All right, this is the third video in our series where we're talking about 100 games from the Essen Spiel that we're very interested in, or at least one of us is interested in.
Right.
And no better way than to start the thing with only one person being interested in is with the first game, Bellz. This is from Game Factory, and I'm very intrigued with this game because there's all these little bells, different color bells.
You put on a pet.
Or, you know, jingle bells.
Jingle bells, right, yes.
And there's, I think, 4 colors and 3 sizes. And then you have a magnet wand, and you're trying to pick them up of different colors and without picking up the other ones. It has magnets.
Part of it is like you cannot make noise, or... Because otherwise, what's the point of them being bells? I don't know. It looks... I mean, I also realize it says ages like...
6 and up.
You know, actually, I looked elsewhere and it said 4 and up, so... It's like a game for kids, you know what I mean?
Yes, that's why it's on my list.
That's just you.
I thought the bells and the magnet stuff would look cool.
I know. It's like the gimmick is hooking you.
I'm a gimmick-oriented guy.
Yes.
All right, the next one is also based on a gimmick. This actually came out of Essen, I believe, 3 years ago, and that's Poseidon's Kingdom. Mm-hmm. This was originally done by the Fragler brothers. Well, maybe it was 4 years ago, actually. It's been a while.
Yeah.
But this has the mechanism is a wave where you have dice in the wave, and then the wave will crash and the dice land on the board.
Right.
Where they land matters, and then you use these big oversized pieces and move around. And this was before Fragler Games jumped off the deep end with their...
Before they completely lost their minds and started making figures just because they can. It's a whole garden gnome.
Anyhow, I really like the game, and so GameSoon has reprinted it. Looks like they stayed pretty true to what it originally was. Obviously, had to make some changes because of production. But it looks good. Looks fun, and I played the game before, and I like it.
Yeah.
Right.
You've not played this.
I've not played it.
It's an interesting game. I mean, that's one of the coolest gaming experiences I think I've ever come across, with rolling that wave and having those dice just kind of tumble down.
Like a gimmick that works, you mean?
Yeah.
All right, the next one is Bardagi, The Claim for Gold. This is from Gamia Games.
Which I don't think I've heard of.
Yeah, I'm not... Well, they're in the hall...
Try to pronounce that designer's last name.
No. Or is it...
Yeah.
It's Jorgvinsson. Yeah, something like that.
All right, let's see if they've done any other games. Ancient Aliens, Creators of Civilizations, and Mastery Become a Hero.
I don't know them. This one looks interesting, though. It's a Viking game in which you are, moving around.
Yeah, come on, keep going.
It's a card-driven game. It's got some area majority, not quite majority, but like area movement and traversal. It's a good-looking game. The board
It's an adventure-style game. It doesn't look like the Viking theme is just pasted on.
Well, I don't know. I don't know.
Look at that board. It's amazing.
No, the artwork is phenomenal. I love the little cupcake whirlpool that's up at the top.
Cupcake whirlpool at the top is great.
That's neat.
Cupcake whirlpool.
So, I mean, no, it looks phenomenal.
What are you worried about? What is the concern?
See, when you called it a Viking game.
He's been burned by Viking games before.
But that's the thing. It has to be like a pillaging and plundering kind of thing for it to be Vikings?
No. It doesn't look like... It looks like a... Maybe it's more this. It's more of a Norse mythology looking game than an actual Viking.
Okay.
Because Vikings were real people from history.
Right.
So when you tell me Viking game, I'm thinking historically Viking game.
I see what you mean.
I think fantasy Viking, and I'm happy with that.
But fantasy Viking is also cool.
Fantasy Vikings and fantasy pirates and all of that stuff that really existed with fantasy. I mean, this next game is going to be about samurai and ninjas and stuff. I don't care if those sorts of themes get a little fantastical.
Oh, that's fine too.
But you're a big historic buff. You like that kind of game.
I do like that kind of stuff.
That's why he likes Blood Rage.
I understand what you're worried about.
Right, yeah.
All right. The next game, as he mentioned, is about ninjas. It's Shinobi Assassins. Now, this is yet another in this probably oversaturated, guess what everyone else is doing type thing. Right. But it looks like you're giving other people attack cards. It looks like a multiplayer rock, paper, scissors, complex
To me, when I finished looking into it, reading it, I wrote down that it sounded like convoluted cash and guns.
Ooh, okay, that actually sounds a little bit more interesting now.
Which doesn't sound interesting to me.
No, why? Why would convoluted
cash and guns
sound
is great because it's simple.
Well, it's also
It's
15,
like a game
20
where
minutes.
you have to point at 3 people, basically.
Yeah.
You are pointing by giving them a card face down at 3 people. And 3 people point at you. And then you, like, resolve all the stuff. It's like, it sounds like that. I'm not interested. Hard pass. For
All right, whatever. All right, the next one is Taverna. This is from Geek Attitude Games. There's one thing at Essen I noticed there's a lot of new companies popping up.
Yeah,
There's a lot of
You
them.
bet.
But look at that acrostic. Gag.
Okay.
Really? You gotta put some thought into that, people. Come on.
I don't think people are
I
calling
don't think
them
anyone's going to
gags.
necessarily abbreviate that.
No. A lot of people do that. I'm just saying.
I want to abbreviate this game.
So this one doesn't look interesting. This is looks like it's from
This
the same
looks
people
interesting to me. This
who
was
did
on
that.
my list.
Who did that Essen game from last year? Essen the game, the one with Metzler on the front.
Right.
But the board looks really popping, and inside you're like inside a tavern trying to maneuver around and
Patrons.
you know.
Send people to the right area
Right.
so that person
No, it
can.
looks, the board is very sharp. I'm worried about the theme. It
In a
could be
tavern,
cool.
that's not a common thing.
It's not. I mean, except for the silly Red Dragon Inn one, which is not.
Yeah,
not
that's
what
a whole
this is
different
going
game. That's a
for,
take
but
that style game.
I'm hoping it's good. Right now,
I think the artwork is phenomenal. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
As far as the game play is concerned, I'm interested in this one.
I'm lukewarm, but I'm warming up.
It's got a drinking dwarf on the front of it, so.
That makes it a little warmer.
Yeah.
The next game is from Grana, who last year or a year before released CV.
Grana?
Now, CVlizations.
Not grandma.
Did I say grandma?
Grandma.
No, you
Grana.
said Grana.
Oh.
He's just in the door.
CVlizations is one of those games I've already reviewed it. We've already played it. I know that I like it, but I think you loved it with a U.
I did. I loved it.
He loved it.
I thought it was great. It was a very solid game, quick playing, but very interesting. It's, I don't know, it's just the kind of thing that did a lot in 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and I'm always on board for that.
All right, well, the next 3 games are all from the same company, Haba. But before you fast forward through this section, these are not the typical Haba Kids games.
Yeah, these actually were. I was surprised. I was like, oh, that looks cool.
Well, Haba is now, this is
Haba.
their new thing. They are starting a family line of games. And they've basically, from what I've seen, they've sort of made the games a little bit harder. They're still like at very, very entry level,
Right.
for families, and got rid of the yellow box. That's
Yeah, but I'm cool with that. I mean, I actually didn't put any other Haba games on the list because I always just go there and look.
yeah.
There's always piles of Haba games, and if it's from 2014, 2013, whatever,
Yes,
I just
yes.
pick an interesting one I think my kids will like.
I just think it's interesting that they've felt the need to break into
The family game business?
market, right? Because they've got their foot nicely placed in the kids game market. I mean, they are a big, big player in that market.
Right.
Yeah, well, in Germany
So-
anyway, and they're starting to come into America.
Sure, but I'm not sure what they're doing messing around in this area.
Yeah, but like, look at the first one here. This is AdventureLand, where you go around and you're going through country and finding things. It's designed by Kiesling and Kramer.
Yeah.
That's huge.
That's what piqued my interest in it.
It says tile placement and adventurers. It says it comes with 3 adventures, which I don't know if that means you will have specific adventures you have to do. But either way, the designers alone have me on this one.
Yeah.
Also, the theme looks cool and the board looks good.
Well, the board also has a square overlay. I don't know if you can tell with numbers and letters.
Yeah, I did see that, and that gave me a little bit of pause. But I'm willing to. I'm willing to try it because of the 2
But
designs.
you don't like the grid aspect of that? That could be logic and deduction.
Maybe?
Yeah, but I'm not.
All right, well, let's hope so. The next.
Go really badly is what I'm saying.
If that's what it is,
Yeah, but Kramer and Kiesling for me, lately, I've fallen into that trap of making the same sort of bland Euro game.
Yeah, I got you.
You know what I mean? I'll see.
Well, it looks like Hobbit went all out because then the next game, Karuba, is from Rudiger Dorn.
Yeah.
They're really pulling the big designers in here.
They are indeed.
And this one's a treasure hunter where you're making paths to go to treasures. This one I'm interested in, but it's also the one I'm most worried about because that whole path thing, I'm getting really tired of it.
I'm interested because I tend to like puzzle games and I tend to like tile laying real-time puzzle games. Except Galaxy Truck.
This is real time? I didn't notice that.
It is, as far as I can tell.
It's simultaneous action selection. That's a little different, I think.
I think it's supposed to be something like Mondo. It's in that realm, if I'm not mistaken, which I'd like, and so we'll see. I'm more interested in this one than the AdventureLand game.
The one I'm most interested in actually is called Spookies, which is kind of a kid name, don't you think? Maybe
It's supposed
Spookies.
to be like cookies.
Oh, Spookies. I'm not.
I don't know.
No, it's Spookies. Come on now. I don't mean
I'm messing with his mind, you know.
Stefan Klob.
Tide is on.
Close.
It's a tide.
Closer. Oh,
Close.
close. In this one, you're going in a haunted house, and you're trying to see how far you can get to the top. It's kind of a push your luck thing, as far as I can tell, with dice rolling. I'm in on that.
It
and
seems
the whole
okay.
ghost house thing looks fun. It's like a kid's haunted house.
Right. The game is very simple. I've already seen an overview of this, and it's a real basic push your luck game. I mean, really basic. Like, you want to roll 3 dice or 2. If you get it with just 2, you get more stuff. If you roll 3, you're more likely to get it. You get less stuff. That's about it. That's the one decision you'll be making in this game over and over and over. Maybe for 20 minutes, but it's very pretty. I'm worried about longevity. I think I'd like to play it, but I'm worried about multiple plays.
The next game is from Hansem Gluck, but I would guess that Z-Man would also have this one at some point, and that's Russian Railroads, German Railroads. Although I think that's the name on Board Game Geek. I'm looking at the box, and it just says German Railroads, basically based on the Russian railroad system.
Right.
Which makes more sense, because otherwise it's a really weird name.
Right.
I liked Russian Railroads. That came out 2 years ago at Essen. It's a worker placement game. I think you liked it-ish. It's very mathy. A lot trying to go on. This one is just basically a variation on that. I think Russian Railroads is a very fine game. So I'm curious to see what this one will do to the board.
It pulled me in with the whole worker placement thing. And then it smacked me around with a whole bunch of mathematical equations. And I was like, I'm done. I'm good.
All right.
This is one of those games that I just played this one earlier this year. I played with my friend Bob and Warren and his wife, and it was exciting for me to see how far back in fourth place I could come. As I sat there like, I'm doing really well.
Every round, you feel less and less smart every round.
Well, that's because in this game you get a certain amount of points every round, and to catch up means I need you to start doing worse and for me to do better. Oof. So that's the one thing my negative about the game is that there's a certain point where you could be like, oh,
I'm done.
I'm never going to win. But still, this is a variation on the game, and I do like it. So I'm looking forward to that. All right. What do we got next here? Let's see on our list. Oh, a whole bunch of games from Yellow, which, I mean, Yellow to me has become a really kind of a new...
It's a board game engine.
Right, somebody new into the
big players, you mean?
Yeah. The Yellow actually has 2 different branches. There's Yellow USA and Yellow France. So they kind of come together at Essen, but I'm always eager to see what they have. So let's see.
I'm always excited to see what they've got coming because it's always interesting and definitely always looks amazing. The look to their games and their design ideas are always stunning looking.
And one thing I like what they do is they often take other companies' games and make them look better. A good example would be Innovation. I know you guys don't like Innovation, but the Asmati version was blah.
Head and shoulders better.
Right. So the first game on our list here is Aramini Circus, which is a redone version of Crash Games Yardmaster.
Right.
And why does it look so much better?
Yeah, it looks amazing. It's got a circus theme now to the train. And, man, just a stunning, cartoony, popping look.
Yeah.
It's that just flawless, very highly stylized look that they have.
Yep.
And it just works. It just works.
Something interesting to me in this is that this version may not come to America.
Right.
And that may be rights because Yardmaster's already here.
Right.
They said there will be an English version available only in Europe, so Zee will grab one. So
I will probably do that.
this one is very interesting, the Big Book of Madness. Now, we first talked about this at the Gamma Trade Show. Yellow showed us this.
That's right.
I was excited to see it. It's a cooperative game. Basically, you open a Big Book of Madness, and you're like, oh, bad idea, we should close it.
And then you spend the game attempting to close it.
Right. I've heard some negative reactions about this from Gen Con. Some people played it and they were like, it wasn't very fun. I am going to disregard all that and hope that it's fun anyway.
Right.
The artwork looks good. It's cooperative. It has it looks like it fits that midweight co-op game. Co-op games have started to kind of, some of them are going to that real heavy side.
Right.
So I hope so. I love the cover. I love the theme.
90 minutes, though. And only ages 10 and up.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know.
Seems like a long game for a 10-year-old.
I don't know. I'm really excited to check it out. I'm a big
just
co-op
an
fan
impression.
anyway. Yeah, but I've heard the negative buzz also. I want to try it.
That's only a few people though, so
Yeah, it's
I'm
not buzz. I shouldn't say negative buzz. I've heard a negative opinion, but I want to try it because I think it's my kind of game.
The next game, again from Yellow, is Candy Chaser. It's a bluffing game in which you're smuggling illegal candy. Maybe it's those Kinder eggs.
Yeah.
Maybe. Now this
I used
one,
to get those all the time when I lived in Germany. Those were awesome little things. Just that they're
When
really
I crossed the
small.
border up into Canada earlier this year, I was like, ooh, I should buy these. Oh, no, I'll get arrested.
well, this one also looks very beautiful, but definitely seems to be geared towards kids.
Well, it looks like they're starting to make these in that line, that Welcome to the Dungeon line, that light.
Right.
I'm hoping this was a bluffing one. So then, huzzah, for sale. Now, this is the exact same game as the Uber Play version and the Griffin game version. This came out 10 years ago in 2005, although I really want to say For Sale had come out earlier than that.
For Sale came out in '93, I thought.
Yeah, I think the Uber Play version took a German version and brought it to English.
I thought so.
Well, either way, the game has been around for a while, but it is a consistently good game, and I like the current artwork of the game from the Griffin version, but 97. But this version is really good. Really nice artwork.
It just looks amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
I already thought that the Uber Play version, which is when I came on board For Sale, was a stunning looking game already. But
They kicked it up a notch.
Yeah, it looks good.
again,
A whole
it's
bunch of
that,
notches.
it's that artwork that they've got in their back pocket, and when they go boom, you pay attention
Right,
because it
yeah.
just looks amazing.
That's true. I mean, the Yellow is one of those companies that we don't always like all their games, but I don't think of very often I say, oh, I didn't like the artwork.
I can't think of one. Yes, there's
Neither
games
can I.
I don't like from them.
Right.
I've yet to see one that I look at the look of the game and I go, no, never. I'm always interested.
Right.
Well, then that's even, it comes clear in the next game, Nyet.
Yeah.
A Stefan Dora game.
Right.
This is one I think you have highly rated, right?
Very much so, because I've played the game. I've
you have
the game
played it.
for many years. This game is a reprint of Nyet, we call it, and they changed the theme. They made it a Russian theme. The game was basically a themeless trick-taking game before.
No, it's probably still themeless.
Yeah, sure, but now they have all the artwork is congruent now, and again, the artwork is amazing, but it's one of my favorite trick-taking games that I've ever played. So I'm extremely excited about this reprint.
We've got to try this now because that's high praise from the trick-taking
Very,
game.
very excited about this trick-taking game. It's a wonderful, wonderful creation from Stefan Dora. And the reprint, man, it looks right on the ball.
Then we have Sapiens. We actually have a copy of Sapiens, which we have yet to review, although it may be reviewed this week for all I know. But this one, again, the artwork and just moving around on this, there's like a puzzle board where you're going around trying to find food and shelter as cavemen. Interesting theme.
Yeah.
I don't know much more about it other than that. I mean, that it looks good. I mean, I've been really anxious to get this one to the table. It's going to happen soon.
Yeah, I like that theme. I always like the prehistory themes much more than medieval themes and that sort of thing.
Do you?
So I do like the prehistory themes.
Yeah, but he's the Stone Age guy.
Yeah, I think Stone Age is just I don't know. I played it. I enjoyed it, but I've kind of moved on from it. This game looks good, though. I want to check it out.
Speaking of this, there's a whole lot of Japan brand games that are going to be in existence, and
There will be like 50 of each there.
yeah, there's a lot that we've gotten. I don't think we're going to get through all of them before Essen. We've been playing a decent amount
I've been
of them.
knocking some out, and if you want to see some of these, you can watch some recent reviews I've done of some of these games. But yeah, well, I don't think we'll be able to get through all of them.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I have on here. First of all, I have Sheep and Thief.
Right, which I did a review of, and that's actually Sam has played this with me as well, and I think he enjoyed it.
You said this one's really good.
It's very, very good. As I said in my review, I think Sheep and Thief is the game that Carcassonne, the card game, should have been. It's like Carcassonne.
Wow, that's
with
really
cards,
strong.
and it's quick. It's great tile laying because the cards act as tiles. And it's just a solid game. I mean, it's a clean design,
Yeah.
surprisingly clean, but nice amount of tactics and great drafting in it.
Yeah, it could be used. It could use to lose the little puff balls.
Sure, the components are very, they're very,
be replaced by sheep meeples or
Yeah,
something like
yeah.
that. Sheeples, I guess you call them.
Wait, no, we already checked this, didn't we?
we did.
I'm having the same thing.
Yes. But anyway, that's a great one. Check that one out, Sheep and Thief. Yeah, very, very good.
And then the other game there from them that another one, and I see a review here, Vampire Radar.
Vampire Radar, another one that I really thought very highly of. This is the junior version of a game like Shadows over, Letters of
Whitechapel?
What's that game called?
Fury of Dracula.
Yeah, Dracula, Letters, Whitechapel. It's a similar style. Say junior, not in a bad way. It's like a simpler game of that. But it's clean. Again, it's the kind of game that fits a lot of game in a little box, and it does it in a streamlined fashion. Just works. Check out my review of that. But yeah, I was pretty thrilled with it. I thought it was awesome.
The next game is from Jolly Thinkers, who is known for doing the pick a bear, pick a panda, pick a pig thing.
Right.
This one is coming from them, and it's coming from Gray Fox Games.
Right.
I don't know why, because we're in the same booth as Gray Fox Games, so I should remember that. Now, this is CS Files, although the Gray Fox game version is called Deception in Hong Kong.
Right.
They're the exact same game other than the name, and the CS Files has Chinese rules in it.
Right.
And in this game, which I am dubbing the Mysterium Killer, even though it came out before Mysterium, but it has the same feel, but instead of giving out dream cards, the one person is putting out clues on words to give everyone, trying to figure out who the murderer is.
Right.
And rather than everyone working together cooperatively, one person is the murderer. So they're going to be deliberately trying to steer the conversation away from people picking them.
Right. Right.
Really enjoy this. It's the best implementation I've seen in a while of this whole hidden role thing. You know, like, oh, who is this guy and stuff. Again, I did a review of it last week. You can go check it out.
I have to agree that this is one of the standout games in that genre. I'm not sure if you played this.
I'll tell you, when I first got this,
pretty stunning. It's a weird looking game.
Like,
The original look is very like, what's happening here? This is a bunch of lists. It's just a bunch of tiles with lists.
but the new version is really
But
sharp.
the way the game engages everybody, man, it's a game that happens up here. Yeah. And what's on the table is just a framework for that. Yeah, definitely check that one out. Deception, Murder in Hong Kong.
The last one we're going to talk about today is from L'Autopolite.fl, I think.
L'Autopolite, yeah.
And this is M.U.L.E, the board game. Now, this is based on M.U.L.E, the computer game. Came out in 1983. There's a lot of people who still speak fondly of that one. I believe I played it all of 30 minutes, so I don't remember much of it.
I've never played it.
But it's essentially a resource collection game, and there's games that have come from M.U.L.E, the board game,
Right.
that people have said, but this one is specifically, and what I like about this game, other than the fact that I think it's cool that they're taking this old video game and bringing it to a board game, but it looks sharp.
It does. It
looks really clean, the graphic design, and I'm hoping it's fun.
I think that's a good word for it. It does look sharp. It looks well put together. It does not look sloppy. You know, it doesn't look like they got some license and they're like, okay, let's throw a game out there. This looks like some thought went into it. It might not be a game for me. I'm not sure I'm on board with resource management
Commodity
and
speculation.
yeah, all of that, right? I'm not
trading.
sure it's a game for me, but people who are excited about this video game, I think, have a reason to be excited about the
Yeah,
board
I can
game.
see that. If you were into the video game, you might be on board with this.
Yeah.
But just looking at the mechanics, graphic design looks okay, yeah, but just looking at the mechanics, it's probably not on my radar.
Right. It's not my kind of game, I think. But
Right.
but check it out if you're into that. Yeah.
All right, well, hey, that's 20 more games done. Once again, a big thank you to Eric Martin from Board Game Geek for making a huge list that we spent many, many hours putting down only 100 games. There are so many games that we're not talking about that are probably also possibly fantastic. And there's also some that we're not talking about that are horrific.
I mean, some of the ones we are talking about could
that-
be bad, right?
That
We are
fills almost every crack.
we are speculating, and I'm sure when we do come back after the fair, then we'll be telling you about a lot of them that we did not put on the list that we thought were.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking, as now, if I only got these 100 games, that would take us the rest of the year to go through all them. Well, probably longer than that.
Yeah.
And there's another 500 games. Ah! So many games. Hopefully
good
this helps out
problem to
a little
have.
bit, though. All right, guys. See you guys in the next video. I'm Tom Vasel.
Zee Garcia, thank you, folks.
Sam Healey.